All right, so let's look at this example involving order of operations and substitution and fractions. It says evaluate the expression for the given values of the variable. So it tells you that the variable x is equal to 2 and the variable y is equal to negative 4. So let's go ahead and plug in those values. 5 times 2 over negative 4 plus negative 4 squared. So order of operations says that we take care of any grouping symbols first. I do have parentheses, but there's nothing inside my parentheses other than single numbers, so these aren't really grouping symbols. Next, I look for exponents. So there's an exponent. I'm going to take care of it. 5 times 2 over negative 4 plus negative 4 squared. Negative 4 squared is negative 4 times negative 4. A negative times a negative gives me a positive number, so I'm not worried about the sign anymore. 4 times 4 will give me 16. So now I have 5 times 2 over negative 4 plus 16. Order of operations, grouping symbols first, and then exponents, which I have now taken care of, and then multiplication or division. So I have multiplication, 5 times 2, this gives me a 10, over negative 4 plus 16. Our next step, if we like, can be to simplify this fraction. 10 over negative 4 would actually simplify to negative 5 over 2. One of the things I want to mention is that this negative sign moved. I pulled it out to the front of the fraction. You can do that. You can use your negative sign up in the top of the fraction or the bottom of the fraction, or you can put it out front of the fraction if you really like. It's up to you. You only get to use it once, but you have to use it once. So I'm going to put mine outside in front of the fraction for the moment. So I have negative 5 over 2 plus 16. So now I am trying to add these two numbers together. In order to do so, I need to make them both fractions, and they're going to need to have common denominators. So for adding or subtracting fractions, you have to have a common denominator. So looking at these two numbers, I can just multiply them together. And if I do, 2 times 1, it tells me my common denominator has to be 2. So I'm going to multiply this second fraction by 2 over 2. So I have negative 5 over 2 plus 32 over 2. So now notice again, I moved the negative sign up to the top of the fraction, and the reason I did that is because I'm going to be combining these two numerators, and that's where I want to keep my sign. So again, I have negative 5, picture being at negative 5 on the number line. And I'm adding to it 32. So I'm actually moving 32 places over to the right. So when I add a number to a negative number, I'm moving over to the right side. So what number is 32 steps away from 5? So remember, until we get to 0, we're counting down our numbers. And then once 0 comes, we're accumulating numbers again. So we have these 5 spaces before we get to 0, and then 0 we start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we want to know what is 32 steps away from negative 5, we can just subtract the 5 pieces that would be right here. Let's see, 12 and 2, 7, 2. And then whatever's left over is the number of steps we would be past 0. So negative 5 plus 32 is equal to a positive 27. Still over our denominator of 2. 27 is not divisible by 2, so I am finished with this problem.